go for it!
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing with Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. This is a bird dragon coming from Tarkir and landing in Bloomborough to cause some serious havoc. This card cares about creatures with a power 4 or greater, which means that you can play all sorts of creatures that are strong, maybe not on their backside when they're blocking, but when they're attacking in. Dragonhawk will then, when it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile cards equal to the number of creatures with power 4 that you control. You can cast or play those spells that you have in exile, but if you don't, that's actually just fine because you're going to be dealing 2 damage per card that is in exile. So you build up a board of big, strong creatures and you swing in with them. And maybe you even get some extra card advantage because Dragonhawk has both enter the battlefield and attack. This deck is a great excuse to run big red creatures, including some that don't even cost that much mana, though you might not want to be attacking with them very often because they don't untap, like this Chained Brute. Like a true mono red deck, we're also buffing up our creatures, taking out the small creatures our opponents play, and getting some sweet value off of the other big red cards that we have, like Terror of the Peaks and Neheb, Ilhar, Gorybringer, Goldspan. There's so many big red creatures, many of which are dragons that you can play in this deck. I'll say that you could actually build this as a dragons deck, but I like it a lot more as this just big red hasty thing. I'm running as many haste enablers as I felt I could put in the deck without really hindering myself, like Perforos. I've also got Urabrask, I have the Rising of the Day, and I have some cards that will punish our opponents for playing strategies that are kind of good against big red, like maybe they're casting lots of counter spells. Well, maybe those counter spells will hurt them. Maybe they're trying to gain life. Well, maybe that life gain won't actually happen. And we actually have a new card that also prevents life gain and damage prevention in Sunspine Lynx. Lots of awesome cards that you can run with Dragonhawk. So we're going to take this into the queue, and we're going to go caca, pew pew! Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. This is a discard commander that deals damage to you if you discard a land in response to its ability. I have some good ramp here. I've got a nice dragon spirit and a dinosaur to act as some removal. But one of these things is going to have to be let go from my hand, because when Kroxa comes into play, we will be discarding. A Draconic Debut we could use if they play any early creatures to discount the next dragon, so like either Atsushi or Dragonhawk. Our deck is not a dragons deck, but it does have a lot of dragons in it, so yeah, play a little bit of dragon synergy, why not? A Bitter Reunion. That is going to let them discard because they need to have things in the graveyard to escape, or maybe just to reanimate later. They're playing against a Rakdos deck, so I really don't need this Cavern of Souls. The Snow-Covered Mountains actually give me a slightly better benefit in this deck, since we're mono-colored. And we are running Winter Orb, so if I happen to get my Winter Orb, it's probably smart that I have as many basics available as I do. Yeah, we get the Cavern of Souls in hand when we're not playing against a blue deck, because that's, you know, that's how it always happens. Why would I ever have Cavern of Souls in my opening hand against a blue deck? Alright, so Grief comes out. They're gonna make me discard one of these. Which one? I think I would go for Atsushi or Debut here, because this is also removal that can kill NT, but this is better removal just at this point. Yeah, so Draconic Debut, so I can't rush out my commander. Oh, hey! I found the Winter Moon. The thing I was just talking about. Nice to see ya. Molten Impact kills this. I'm feeling treasures. We get lots of card advantage off of Dragonhawk. They have not gotten another land. Did they discard a land? They haven't. So they're just filtering right now to try and find one. And they did find one. Good for them. Care to play your Detective's Phoenix with all this stuff in your graveyard? They don't want to? Okay, that's fine too. I'll just use up the treasure to start. In case he'll land off Dragonhawk's ability. A land! And sure, Winter Moon. Looks like I got the mana, right? No, actually, I have this, like, fake bolt here, so I'm gonna keep the fake bolt. Though I'd rather play the Trumpeting Carnosaur as a creature, so I get to discover, and I can possibly discover into another 4-power creature. Wow, that is aggressive. Sure. Liliana in the graveyard. Could have killed Inti here, but I want to save these treasures. Carnosaur. Let's do some sweet discovery. Sweet! I got something else that gets me more things to play from exile. And I see you have 2 non-basics and they're tapped right now, so Winter Moon! We got Carnosaurs, we got Dracosaurs, we got dinosaur dragons, bird dragons, just regular dinosaurs. We have a bunch of dinosaurs in this deck. Turns out dinosaurs tend to be high-powered creatures. And if you put wings on them, they become dragons. Skillful Mastery, but we get to draw a card. Ooh, a Haste Enabler. Nice. I think that's good. They go for the Phoenix. Bonk. They solve them. I'm gonna exert my Arena of Glory. I know it's gonna, it's not gonna untap, but guess what? It wasn't gonna untap anyway. And that's 4 damage in exile. Times 2. 8. Win the game. GG. Coram, the Undertaker. Wow, Ragavan really likes showing up in opening hand, and I'm super down with that. We also have Party Thrasher, who can help discount, well, discount by the means of convoking, tapping our creatures, the spells that we see off exile from Dragonhawk. It's pretty sweet. Oh, hey, Thoughtseize. We do not have a turn 1 Ragavan. We had one, and now we don't. Oh, another card that cares about exile stuff. Now Fishing, by the way, kind of a reach in this deck. This is one of those cards that is really fun and really cool, but good luck actually getting it to do anything. It does curve, though. Like, you can go Dragonhawk into Nalfishni, casting stuff from exile, getting to double them. But that's hard. I could choose to discard a card here and get a choice of different cards from my deck. And I'm thinking I don't want to do that because I already have all the cards I want here, but I could, like, drop Nalfishni and look for a land. That's probably what I'm gonna do next turn. So here we go. Nykthos, Heraldic Banner. Red, swing in. Block me. Thank you for blocking me, 6. Coram the Undertaker. I actually have one of these too. It's a really fun Jund deck. It cares about the biggest creature in either player's graveyard. It cares about self-mill. And also, it's just like, it's cool. This is really cool. This is like one of the most Jund commanders. All right, so now I'm thinking we could drop Nalfishni. Or, I already have mana for Dragonhawk, so it's a Dragonhawk turn. Boom. Pow. Get him. And you see this? This Play with Fire? Normally, I would not be able to play this, but because of the Party Thrasher, it has Convoke. Booties. No booties. And for anybody who is asking what is the difference between just letting that deal 2 damage and using this, I got to scry. That's the difference. All right, Coram mills. They got a Breach the Multiverse and a Blood Moon from me. I'm not going to block because I do know fear. And fear is oftentimes in the shape of a lightning bolt. Yeah, you should play my Blood Moon. How could it possibly go wrong? Grist! Oh, I love Grist. Hi, Grist. Sort of body and mind. Ooh. That's protection from colors that aren't my colors, though. So that's fine. This is the Neheb that discards. All right, so I'm actually going to drop the Neheb from my hand. Tokens on, or Snow-Covered Mountain. I will grab the Snow-Covered Mountain. And we want to get as many big creatures out before attacks as we can. Because it means more triggers from Dragonhawk. Oh, and that's a really nice trigger. I could kill the Sword of Body and Mind at the cost of destroying my own Heraldic Banner. Or I could just kill Grist. I think I'll just kill Grist. I don't have lethal right now off of the Dragonhawk pings. And I have a chump block here. Coram swings in, milling Cedar Wayfinder and the Snow-Covered Mountain. Since they don't have the sword on, I'm just gonna let that hit happen. There could be a board wipe here, though. Devious Cover-Up. They've got the mana for that. I don't think they're running Blood on the Snow, because the only snow land they have, they stole from me. They are in danger, yes. Draconic danger. Hey, it's Deadly Cover-Up! A card we said they might have. Sorry, Nalfishnee. I could get my Dragonhawk out. Ooh, Cindermaw. Being asked, if I had to build a mono red deck in paper, who would be the commander? I have a mono red deck in paper. I have a mono red Ragavan deck that my cousin had built for me that I run as just a mono red crime deck. I have made some tweaks to the deck, but it's very fun. Cool sword. I gotta go for Nalfishnee. Just so we get 2 off this. Because now we've got 4 damage from Dragonhawk because it's 2 per. Nice. That ends the game. GG. Juri, Master of the Review. Juri is a Rakdos sacrifice commander who grows whenever you sacrifice a permanent, and then, when he dies, deals damage equal to his power to any target, which is doubled up if you happen to run something like a Fling in your deck. I've run Juri in sacrifice decks before, and he gets really fun and really huge really fast. I am a big fan of the, Fling strategy, too, because it turns out that, a sudden 20 damage usually kills your opponent. Just, usually kills your opponent. I do have some good removal for the Juri here, though. I have the Bone Crusher Giant, which should be able to step on him, take him out of the question for at least a couple turns. I feel like Juri is a lot better if you can set up some things to sacrifice, whether they're treasure tokens or lands or anything else before he lands. But he's also a 2-drop, so if you don't have any other 2-drops or you're there's nothing for you to remove, he's just fine. Nice. Lelia. Getting a Molten Collapse, that's removal. Removal I thankfully won't have to deal with here. And I'm going to play the Bone Crusher Giant. Just kind of hoping to trade into Lelia here. And if they want to target Bone Crusher Giant with a spell, it will hurt them. They are making up their mind. Ooh, it's a Galvanic Discharge. That does take care of the Bone Crusher Giant, and it means that Lelia is going to get out of range of trading into the Cinder Maw or the Bone Crusher Giant. I would need to trade something like way bigger and better into it. And since I'm a mono red deck, once she gets too big, I just don't have a way to kill her. This duress sees nothing that it can stop. Because all of these... they're creatures. Okay, Shatter Skill Smashing. One of the few ways I can kill a big creature. I think that their lands are fairly non-basic here, so this is a great time to throw down the Sunspine Links. Pew pew! I take one, because I've played the run-em-ups. That's my, you know, I should have played the Snow-Covered Mountain. But they took 3. Gravelighter. Oh no! A symmetrical sacrifice. The Sunspine Lynx dies, and the Harried Spear Guard dies, so they get a rat. And Lelia swings in again. Okay, Ilharg is 6/6. Maybe we can trade in there. Always stinks to be on the back foot against a deck like this, so I'll take what I can get. 1 hog, please. Here comes Juri. Gonna be a big pork roast? Oh no. I think it is gonna be a big pork roast. Annihilating Glare, sacrificing the rat to kill Ilharg, and they swing in for 8 damage. Saying good game because now all Juri needs to do is die, and we die. GG, Juri. Roxanne, Starfall, Savant. She throws rocks at your creatures, which means that they usually die. She also ramps, because those rocks tap for mana. 2 mana if she happens to be in play. Same with all of your treasures. I have a little bit of ramp here. I do have removal that can kill a mana dork or, well, something else. I have something to just kind of sit there in the way, but I think I'm going to mulligan here just to get more lands. Yeah, so we have lands. I have some wider removal, and if they're playing things like Llanowar Elves, early ramp to get Roxanne out even faster so they can ramp into big Gruul spells. Great, I can kill Llanowar Elf. I could maybe kill him twice. Maybe I could even bolt the bird. They did not play a Paradise. Paradise bird. Birds o' Paradise. Ah, the Black Market Tycoon. I'm gonna save the Lightning Bolt and kill this with Method's Enthusiasm, because then next turn I can get out Lelia and she'll have extra power. Infinite power. And I ideally want to get Lelia out ahead of the curve so she'll be big enough to not just immediately die to Roxanne. Alright, question. Are you whenever you attack or attack a player? Good, it's whenever it attacks. That means I can attack Eladamri and kill him. So we can't ramp anymore. Greeny T, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the 2-year resub. Alright, Lelia has dealt her damage, and she's now a 5/3, swinging again. She should become a 6/4. Oh, nice. Taking up both their pieces of ramp, all we needed, get the advantage. GG. Satya, Aetherflux, genius. I am running into so many Satyas while I play Dragonhawk. Satya is a Jeskai Clones commander, supported well by things like removal and counter spells that aren't on creatures, but also making copies of your creatures and keeping them around if you have the energy to pay for them on the turn that you made the clone. Satya is also super evasive, having this menace and haste, which, once it attacks in and makes the clone copies, it's super good, and it's super hard to stop or super hard to block, since for 4 mana, that's a very quick creature to have to deal with. I've got my Ruby Medallion down, so I've got some beautiful discounts here. Sunspine Lynx sounds like it could be cute. I might be a mono red prison deck. Yeah. Yeah, it could be a mono red prison. All these 3-color decks, I don't want to deal with. Ah, dang. Well, they used the Loran, but they had to use the Loran to destroy the Winter Moon instead of the Ruby. So, you know, could be worse. I'm gonna go for Lelia. Maybe the Sunspine Lynx could just, like, blast them later. Was hoping to get a land. Didn't. That's fine. Party Thrasher! What time is it? It's party time. Yeah, cards like Fury, or... What's the name of the, Solitude? Yeah, they're pretty good. So they make a clone of Loran. She is legendary. They destroy the Ruby Medallion. Rude. Okay, I did get a land here. I also have the potential for lands off this, but I want Lelia to be, like, really big. So I'm going to drop the Shatter Skull Smashing anyway to look for a land. Ooh, or Method's Enthusiasm can blast Loran, but I don't think I need to blast Loran. This goes into exile. I'll play it. I'll swing in with Lelia. Get another land off you. Is this Brawl? Sure is. Now we could set it for double attacks. Or how about a Sunspine Lynx? It's just a really cool card and it's going to deal 3 damage to you because you have non-basics. As you can see, we hate non-basic lands here in our mono red deck. We also do have Blood Moon in this deck. Recruiter of the Guard, speaking of which, can get Solitude. Oh, look! Solitude! I can't even gain the life. Oh, well, they have tons of extra energy off of Satya doing Satya crap, so fine. Now, what they probably are trying to do here is clone yet another thing that they're going to exile as part of Solitude's cheat 'em out cost. And then when I double block Satya, they can exile the Lynx. Aw, also little Pride. Stupid little guy. Maybe you have a Fury. Maybe they just want to cast these. Who would do that? Do I want to discard a card here? No, I'm actually pretty happy with these 2 in hand. I think it's fine to go for either Dragonhawk or Goldspan here. They can both get me some nice direct damage. Roaming Throne, my beloved! I have been waiting for Roaming Throne to show up in a game, and we finally found it, and it's in exile, and we can't cast it this turn. Alright, so they're gonna take 4 damage. Oh my gosh, just imagine. Turn 4 Roaming Throne into turn 5 Dragonhawk. It triggers twice, and it triggers twice in the end step. It would be amazing! So Solitude does have Flash. But they're just getting this into play right now. Discard a card. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the Bonehard Dracosaur. Change Brute, Spiteful Banditry. Spiteful Banditry for X equals 2. Versus Chained Brute. That would be post-combat anyway. I'm just gonna go for the lethal play that I have. I mean, we have multiple lethal routes here, but this is the most fun. We're gonna play a bunch of cheap spells that have power 4, swing in, and they're dying not from the damage on the attack, but the damage from the stuff in exile. GG. Eluge, the Shoreless Sea. An Oops All Counterspells commander. Also, one that gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more islands they have. I kept this hand because it has Ragavan in it, which is a very strong turn 1 play that hopefully will get in underneath some of their counterspells. Part of what makes Eluge so scary is that it constantly reduces the cost of your counterspells. The first one you cast each turn will cost blue, blue, blue less, more and more blue over time, which completely adds up to just a hosing strategy when everything is being countered. Yes, the fight between red and blue, I do not have my Cavern of Souls in this hand, but hopefully I can still make it through. Alright, so they do have Brazen Borrower. I'm gonna play this Faceless Haven here. Swing in with the monkey. Get a treasure. I'm very happy they weren't able to counter to this Ragavan, though. I think the Defiler of Instinct is pretty nice. It'll probably just get countered. Memory Lapse, it goes back on top of my deck. I have plenty of lands in hand, though. This is a decently land-heavy deck because our curve is... kind of goes like ramp on 2, dragons on 4. Okay, oh, I shouldn't say dragons. Dragons, Phyrexians, dinosaurs. There's more dragons than any other creature type in the deck, but it's not a dragon deck. I'm going to try again, get some damage in. I'm really glad we got this turn 1 Ragavan to just get in underneath. We also have a man land. We are just hitting lands here, though. I can play Dragonhawk. And since Dragonhawk is very strong, just coming out here, they would need something like Subtlety or another free counter spell, Pact of Negation. And Pact of Negation is going to make them pay 5 next turn. I'm being asked if O'Hare Eshenil works in this deck. O'Hare Eshenil, if you only have 1 card in exile, I think would increase the damage to 4. But I think all of the damage is technically dealt at once. So if you have 2 or more, which you would if you had a 4 drop out like O'Hare Eshenil, it wouldn't change it. Once again, 2 damage swinging in. Fully expecting counter spells. I got a Stifle. Only we could have stifled some other stuff. Atali could be very funny. Dracosaur is value. And I don't want to use up this treasure yet. So here, Boneheart Dracosaur. Ah, actual factual counterspell. Now when Eluge comes out, this is an island, this is not. They can turn their Cephalid Coliseum into an island with the flood counter. Okay, I don't know why they wouldn't. Filer of Instinct. Trying to get those discounts rolling. I can try to kill Eluge with the Frostbite and Ragavan. I feel like Ragavan's not going to be doing much at this point in the game anyway. Oh wow, they're actually just letting this hit. That is a pretty decent sign for me. Arenicus's Vile Duplication. What if I had 2 Defilers of Instinct? And 1 can fly. I would have to look at the rulings for Dragonhawk to see if this damage is dealt simultaneously. Ugh, mass manipulation. And it costs less. Bro, come on. It was so hard for me to make those. They fly now? They fly now. They stole all 3 of my creatures, casting a 10 mana spell there. I'm alive. Okay, Atali. That's 6 damage. That would bring me to 10. That would also bring me to 10. Hi. I just gotta get burn. Not lands, Atali. If I had 1 more mana, potentially could have had lethal there. Or if we could play an extra land here. Oh, if only. If only. So close. Eluge, yeah, Eluge doesn't just discount colorless, it's the blue pips. Which, by the way, is like blue or colorless, I think. Pumping the Raptors, the same thing. It's still 2 damage. So I spent 1 mana to do 2 damage instead of 3. So sadly, didn't get there. Flubs, the Fool! Hey there, Flubs. Flubs is a kind of stormy commander. It allows you to cast spells essentially off the top of your deck, but only if your hand is empty. Truly embracing the head empty, no thoughts lifestyle. Flubs the Fool, especially if you have landfall triggers, can go nuts. And you know what else is gonna go nuts? Me playing a Winter Moon, because they're a 3-color deck, and I don't want them to have those. But hey, you have red in your color identity. Like, you know, you have basic, you have green, you have blue. You just don't get to untap very much. Sheesh. I also only have 1 to untap. I'm feeling the orb because it gives Dragonhawk haste. Hello, yes, this is orb. I have a Party Thrasher in my deck too. It's really fun. Aw, so unfortunately, something I was hoping to do with this deck is get out Roaming Throne and Dragonhawk to get super duper ultra triggers, but it's all part of 1 trigger, so it won't trigger twice in the end step. It'll only trigger on the enter the battlefield or attack. But that's still plenty, because, like, I'm gonna try and get 2 triggers right now. You're doing just fine with those lacks of untaps. And away we go! Dragonhawk! Give me triggers! Also 5 damage to face because you're a dragon. Nice. I think most monocolored decks in Brawl probably want to be running Winter Moon. I'm sure there are some exceptions, like a mono-green landfall deck, which is running lots of fetch lands, probably doesn't. But if you are not using lands as part of your strategy, Winter Moon is good, and if you're in a mono-red deck, Blood Moon is also quite good. It will occasionally not do anything, but it will occasionally completely stop your opponents. Corsair of Crufix can get them some life gain. Roaming Throne, my beloved. I can do the thing. I don't think it counts it as a dragon, though. Because it's not a dragon when I cast it. Look, it's the thing we were just talking about. So, what do I feel like? Do I feel like we just let them take 8 damage, or do I want to play a land here because I like playing lands? Now let's just go for the 8. Yeah, it's a delayed trigger, so it just brings that down. But now they're at 2. Lightning bolt range. Yeah, Roaming Throne is awesome, and we have a bunch of other dragons in this deck too. I will say that specifically Bloomburrow as a set, so good for Roaming Throne because we have so many typal things. GG Flubs. Eladamri. This is the elf that can tap to cheat creatures into play. But you gotta pay a green and tap 2 other friends, so Eladamri takes 3 to bring out 1. When Eladamri is in play, you can also cast creatures off the top of your library, or you could cheat in the creatures that are on top of your library, meaning this is a big brain stompy deck that's looking to maybe cheat some Eldrazi or other things into play, even though you won't be getting their on cast ability, just because they're good. Our opponent did not play another Mana Dork, so I have nothing to be enthusiastic about with my Method's Enthusiasm. Ooh, a Fierce Empath. That will give them the thing they want to cheat into play in hand. So what big boy do you have? Zoprindel. Okay, Zoprindel's pretty sweet. I like Ruby Medallion here, but I think I like Lelia even more. The Ruby Medallion lets me do more spells next turn, but Laylee is a threat that's going to grow over time. And also, it works with Dragonhawk's ability, which is cool. So this exiles cards. Hello, yes. One fierce empire. Oh, it's being Eldritch evolutioned into a 5-drop. Vorinclex, maybe? Vorinclex is always a good choice. The Vorinclex with reach. No, they chose Monkey. I guess that does have, like, more numbers on it. Just, like, big monkey, ape go up. Okay, that's fine. I'll swing in again with Lelia. Cool land. Do you want to block? Please block. Please block so I can get rid of ape. So, the Silverback Elder, unfortunately, is very good at destroying artifacts and enchantments. So just make sure I have 2 of them. Ruby Medallion. And actually, I could just do Combat Celebrant to try and go crazy next turn. I don't have a haste enabler, so Fable the Mirror Breaker instead. Now I have an artifact and an enchantment. Which would you rather destroy? If you cast a creature, you could also choose to ramp. But why would you ever do that? Truition! Thank you for the 15-month resub. So they went for ramp. They're not afraid of my Ruby Medallion or my Fable the Mirror Breaker. I'm gonna drop a land. Might drop 2. The Dracosaur is kind of redundant too. I'll drop 1. Dragonhawk. Ka-ka. Ooh, Brotherhood's End. Neato. Trumpeting Carnosaur. So those are both going to go away. And I can let them have this Silverback Elder. I'm going to kill Eladamri instead. They chose ramp. Yeah, they did not get rid of Ruby Medallion. They'll take 4 to the face as well. Thank you, Dragonhawk. So I see you've chosen ramp. Reclamation Sage. Okay, so now you want to get rid of them. Sure, okay. They can also gain life off the Elder if they're, like, life total too low. Yeah, so they're blasting them now. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't let them have this. No block? I don't... Okay, so I don't know why they didn't block there. Since, like, 5, 7, 6, 6, and I was tapped out, right? I'm not crazy. I was tapped out, right? I'm gonna play the Bonehorde Dracosaur here to get more triggers off Dragonhawk, to get more face damage. I'll attack with all these. I'd be crazy, but also tapped out? Okay, well, yeah, so we can be 2 things. Okay, so which of these was exiled off you? It was Neheb. So Neheb's the only one here that's not dealing face damage. You're still dead. This is a lot. Now, if they had blocked the turn before, they would have survived here. But they wouldn't have survived, like, a lot. Just would have survived a little. GG. Eluge, the Shoreless Sea. I played against an Eluge before that had cast an extremely discounted mass manipulation and stole everything that I have, and it was devastating. So now I'm out for blood. I'm out for revenge, because this fish... Ooh, I wish it wasn't printed, because it's another oops, all counter spells deck. Yes, once again, Wizards of the Coast has made a card that gets just better on its own. I'm not going to play this quite yet, because they could destroy it. I'm always afraid. I'm also not casting a creature yet. It discounts each instant and sorcery that you cast for the first time each turn, so it's like, oh yeah, my first counter spell is free. First counterspell's free. Yeah, first counterspell's free. That's just terrifying. Sure is. Cavern of Souls, Nykthos. None of those let me play Torbrand this turn unless I name Dwarf or Noble on here, and I absolutely want to name Dragon. So I think this is going to be a Nykthos into Cold Steel Heart turn. Keeping this secret. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Secret, keep it safe. Yeah, Eluge also can turn things into islands. And those islands, because of the flood counters, I don't know, maybe there would be cool tech if it had, like, Island Walk synergy. But no, it just grows with the number of islands. So, like, Rivendell, you turn it into an island, it gives you the discount because of the flood counter. And it also makes Eluge bigger because this scales over time. I just need to draw Blood Moon? I don't think Blood Moon would do much because they mostly have basic islands. Ooh, Anger of the Gods. I could, like, try and lead with this. I think it's better to do this, though. Dragon! Goldspan Dragon. Can't be countered. And we swing in. Hopefully it doesn't get turned into a frog. Well, they let it attack, so I think we're okay there. There are some spells that could put it on top or bottom of the library. Okay, so they should have done this before I declared it as an attacker. They didn't. That's okay. I'm gonna use up all these treasures to play Torbrand. They only have 1 mana left. So I'm not too worried about a counterspell. There are some 1 mana counterspells that can hit creatures, like the one that gives you a bird. And now Torbrand will increase all damage we do from red sources to our opponent and their permanents. Thinking about if I can order things neatly for that Nykthos. Not really. Alright, so Goldspan again, uncounterable. Yes, getting the Cavern of Souls is huge. So they're copying Goldspan Dragon. And I'm going to demonstrate something kind of cute about the symmetry of Torbrand. So Torbrand only cares about if our red sources deal damage to their stuff, not to our stuff. So things like Anger of the Gods can be really nice to just wipe out your opponent's things, keeping your own things safe. And then let me swing in for a ton of damage. Die, Eluge. The Eluge Deluge. And look at all this beautiful devotion. Nykthos, getting ready, getting rowdy. Just gonna make sure I leave my Dragonhawk up for the Cavern of Souls. Also, like, Torbrand, I know it does not trigger Dragonhawk, but it does increase the damage dealt by 2. Like, you have 4 cards in exile, it'll deal 10 damage. Okay, so now Demolition Field, they are getting rid of my Cavern of Souls. That's what I was worried about. That's why I didn't play it early in this game. But I still have 2 awesome creatures out, and they haven't been able to play Eluge because they've been too busy having to respond to my threats. Oh, hey, other wipe. I'm still gonna try to play the Dragonhawk here. Wondering why I'm using the Nykthos. I think I have enough mana to play it again, right? Oh, wait. You just clicking? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll Spiteful Banditry. I mean, 1 would deal 3 damage to that. Get me a treasure. We love treasures with our Goldspan. It's not a counterspell, though. This Oops All Counters deck is not an Oops All Counters deck. And I wonder if that's just because they didn't find them, or just because they're trying something beautiful and different. Oh my god, Scytheclaw Raptor. So this is another one of my pieces that is in the deck specifically because mono blue is real and it can hurt you. Scytheclaw Raptor punishes our opponents for playing playing anything on my turn. Yeah, out of the way. 6 damage or 4 damage and get a land. I think I just want damage. Yeah, all of these triggers are at the same time. So something like Aura Chenille doesn't really increase the damage, and Torbrand only increases it once. The big damage increaser for Dragonhawk's ability is Sulfum. Sulfum straight up just doubles the damage. It's like, oh yeah, 3, actually 6. Do they have a Sublime Epiphany? No, they don't. They have a C double though, so they can get 2 Torrential Gear Hulks. And I have to do this all on my turn, because otherwise Scytheclaw Raptor obliterates them. I love good uncommon dinosaur. The most common creature type in her deck, dragon. The second most common, dinosaur. Yeah, this has haste. This does not. But this doesn't need haste, because it just deals damage by existing. Ooh, orb! Wait, that gives me haste. Haste for a dragon. Nice. GG. Quintorius. Hand. Quintorius is a card that cares about casting spells from exile. Hey, we cast spells from exile. In fact, they probably have Party Thrasher and Ragavan and Dragonhawk all in their decks. I will start with a Ragavan. It is monkey. It's a good monkey. Some versions of Quintorius are running tons and tons of board wipes. Some versions of Quintorius are a little bit more chill. I think I'm going to offer them a trade here, or do I want to go for the discharge? I'm going to offer them the trade, since I have a lot of really good other stuff in hand. Okay, so they have a swords. That means that they don't have Mana Tithe, so I actually do feel safer doing this. And I'll pay 1 energy. Boop. Yeah, I didn't want to have them draw a card. Casting like Solar Transformer. Okay, Grand Abolisher says you can only cast spells on your own turn. Well, I can. They can cast spells on my turn, but guess what? I don't have many instants in this deck. I'm a big red deck, not a little red deck. You've already seen one of, like, a few instants in my deck, and they're mostly just, like, shocks. You got 1 mana. Cool. I will discard one of these lands, Sokanzan. Okay. Land for a land. Attacking Chandra. They're trading with the Abolisher. I'm still afraid of Mana Tithe. So I'm gonna go Party Thrasher, Solar Transformer, instead of Dragonhawk. I have been pinged. Ooh, Boneheart Dracosaur! Awesome! One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna decline. I think I should just kill the Boneheart Dracosaur. I wish I had enough to do X equals 6, but I don't. This only gives spells in exile, convoke, and we swing at Chandra again. Boop. Hey, Hand Abolisher says, "Don't touch my combo." Don't eat my combos, bro. Quintorius. Nope. Urabrask. This is the Urabrask that gets you additional impulse draws. And also makes it so my stuff all goes to exile, which is kind of fine. Because, like, that's what we're doing anyway. Dragonhawk. See what we get in exile. Okay, Rekindling Phoenix. I'm going to use the Henware Battlements. Give it haste. I'm going to swing at Chandra. Planeswalker has been removed. And 4 damage is dealt to the face. Cool. So you got a Farewell, and I don't think you have the mana to cast it, so that's really good for me. That means there's no Farewell left in the deck. Elspeth Conquers Death, though. They could take out either Reflection of Kiki-Jiki or Dragonhawk. I hit the Dragonhawk. Next turn, I'll be taxing my non-creature spells. I did lose the big kitty. Such a good kitty. Oh, wow, they're attacking in. Yeah, This can only copy non-legendary creatures, so I can't, like, clone it Sushi and get silly with it. Decline. Give me that into the battlefield. Ooh, Neheb's gonna go to trash. I'm planning on, like, just cloning the Party Thrasher to block Urbrask if they want to do that. Oh, they're turning him into a reprobate. A very naughty little Dragonhawk. They're stepping? Right now, they can bring back, like, Bonehorde Dracosaur. It's a pretty good one. Ooh. Decline. It's Sushi. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a Sushi. Use your Sushi Blast! Just hit them in the face for 4. Linvala, who stops activated abilities of creatures. Is Dragonhawk a legendary coward? Sure is. Oh, just like... Actually, wait. What is Norin the Wary's creature type? Because it's not actually coward, right? Norin the Wary is a warrior? Yeah, Norin the Wary. Human warrior, for some reason. I do like Torbran. Thank you. Yeah, Nornware is not a coward. He's just cautious. Hi, Quintorius. He's not a warrior, he's a worrier. Sure is. He's wary of the danger, so he disappears until end of turn. I need a way to get through that ding-dang dino. Or kill my own Dragonhawk so I can get that out again. Yes, give my hasty creature double haste! I'm actually pretty chill with, like, yeeting its Sushi into this, too. Since it does have a trigger. Alright, let's kill it on the Dragosaur. Oh, sure. I just want you to attack in, so I can kill this Dragonhawk and recast it, please. I'm getting close to, like, dying, though. Oof, and blind obedience, too. Yeah, because I won't be able to, like, get any extra blocking in. They should have lethal here. Yep, they have lethal. If that okay, you don't, I guess you don't have to hit the Dragonhawk. Just attack in. GG, Quintorius. Defeated my Dragonhawk. Soul of Windgrace. Soul of Windgrace returns lands from the graveyard into your play, which is very strong because it ramps you. And it also triggers on enter the battlefield or attack. This hand's a little awkward, but it does have some filtering that's kind of hard to see. This Party Thrasher is able to get me cards that aren't the ones that aren't, like, currently in my hand. Which is important because these current cards don't have enough lands in them. Also, I'm lighting this goose on fire. Cook the goose. I'm getting emoted at. Yeehaw! Howdy! And blow a kiss. Soul and Grace can also be made indestructible, gain you life, or just like turn a card into a slightly different card. These come in tapped. Now, if they had played a Llanowar Elf, oh, I would have spiked that thing. But they have enough mana to bring out Soul of Windgrace. They have a land in the graveyard, which means Soul of Windgrace is already going to be rampant. Some of this. And a Brute. Chain Brute! Here to be a 2-mana big boy. Also, possibly block Soul of Windgrace and then die, and then they could just play Soul of Windgrace again. Or they could make them indestructible for 1 mana. I have no idea, by the way, why they buffed Soul of Windgrace. This is a card that, to me, does not make sense why they made it stronger. Because it was already really strong. It cost 3 mana to make it indestructible before, now it just costs 1. Yeah, this is a card that got rebalanced for Alchemy. It's still legal in Alchemy, I think, right? Or did it just rotate out? Oh no, I think Dominaria United rotated out of Alchemy this like past week. Dang, that Brushfire Elemental is dealing some serious damage. Also, they have ramped. Wait, they announced rebounces that happen tomorrow? Oh, can you link me to it? Hopefully I don't just die here. Save Judgment, save me. I'll drop Ilharg. Peek, peek. There's rebalances happening tomorrow, such as... Scrolling through the thing. Wait, are they actually making cards weaker? They're making it so Galvanic Discharge only gets you 2 energy. Okay, I don't think Galvanic Discharge was that much of a problem, but alright. A Guide of Souls now costs 4 mana to give the angelification instead of 3. And also Have Pride is a 1... Wait, no. In life this turn, make the cat, get the city's blessing. What did they... Oh, they made Also Have Pride 2 mana instead of 1 mana. Huh. Wild. Got a land in hand? They did not have a land in hand. Party Thrasher! Come party with me. You get live reaction to new rebalances. So it sounds like they're doing this to just hit the energy decks in Historic. I'm also okay with that because all 3 of those cards were just generically playable in their colors in Brawl. I mean, I have Galvanic Discharge in this deck because it's a good piece of removal, not because I have any energy synergy. I don't. I think those are the only cards they're rebalancing? Bro, come on, just rebalance some Brawl cards. Do it for me. Please do it for me. Neheb's pretty cute. Terra de Peaks is cute. But I think we're gonna decline on all these and just play Dragonhawk. Cool land, bro. What did they buff on Windgrace? Windgrace's abilities all cost 1 mana instead of 1 mana, 2 mana, and then 3 mana. Which is how they were before. Is that a fetch? Tapped fetch. Alright, just double checking. Cool. That's dumb. It's something. I am just hanging in here at 1 life. Guess I'm gonna go for Neheb. Not hasting Neheb, though. Maybe I should have hasted Neheb. No, that should be fine. Nice. Got a good recurable blocker. I got damage, I got damage. I can hear a fire alarm going off outside somewhere. That's really cool. You guys can't hear it. That was very distant. 1 is not 0. This is a huge turn. Sure is. Neheb giving us extra mana is gigantic. Okay, Soul of Wind. Yeah, you don't want to attack in. I think we're gonna bring some glory here. Trying to see if there's a way for me to do this and keep up Den of the Bugbear. There isn't. That's fine. Bop it. I know I could use the Glorybringer ability. But I was kind of expecting them to make it indestructible. Gain life or something. So each of these is going to be 2 damage. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Or we could cast some spells. Or they could just be dead to combat damage. Turned it all around. 1 isn't 0. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. If you're looking for the deck, it's in the description below. And if you'd like to leave a comment suggesting a commander, please do. This was one that somebody had said was their absolute favorite, so I had to give it a try. And Dragonhawk, it turns out, is awesome. A really cool big red commander that isn't themed about a creature type. You could build this as dragons, but I actually really love this deck as just Power 4 matters. And if you're playing a deck like this, you can do things like play Roaming Throne to get twice as many triggers, which just makes me so happy. I love a deck that has an excuse to run a Roaming Throne. This deck is very, very dependent on its ramp, so these 2-drop ramp spells are huge in this deck, and I think that you could actually reduce the number of big creatures and go with more cheap removal in a deck like this. As you may have heard me talk about in one of those last games, some of these cards are actually going to be changing. Specifically, Galvanic Discharge will be changing by the time that this video comes out, so you might want to swap it for something that cares less about energy, like Shove Aside or Strangle. They both do a very similar thing, it's just the speed at which they do them differs. But this deck is fun, it's fast, it's big, and it lets you play a lot of really fun creatures. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.